Gonna give some time for people to come in. Better prepare for the bombardment of the trolls too. So, hold up. Gonna wait. Gonna wait. Go on, YouTube, do your thing. I know you can do it. I know you can. It's like optimal time too. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it.
It's just been going downhill on a regular, quickly here.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Just gonna fucking just wear this bitch for like half the stream. What do you do? What's the papers? Oh my. What are your papers? Do you have the papers? I'm also preparing for the bombardment of the trolls, so yeah. You got a little mixture of two things going on. Preparing for the bombardment of the trolls, and the papers. I'll be asking for papers throughout the entire course. I was almost done watching your Ignars, and sweet. Oh, I took my glasses with me. But but the big bitch finally came in today. This fat boy. I was actually just put it over there. But there's some bullshit that happened earlier today too, dude. Hold on. Okay, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna be sad when you see this. You look hotter. Hotter? What does that mean? Whoa. Should I be flattered or like concerned? But you're gonna be sad when you see this though. So yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I was taking a hit. In mid-hit. Why am I going to be sad? You're looking at it now. I mean, yeah, when I took a hit like this, it just like did a clean snap. So I just need to find something to put it back together. It's gonna be okay, but it's still like, what the fuck. And then shortly after that, my bowl broke too. So now I have a replacement all-seeing eye, which has already been kind of makeshifted. So I'm gonna use that one until this one gets makeshift back up. So there was a lot of bullfuckery going on, honestly. That's just kind of what happened. Like, after the snap happened, then my bowl freaking decided to go nuts. Like, everything went haywire, like, within 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm just going to go to the store and just be gone for a second, because this is ridiculous. So, I didn't go to the store like this, but I rode my bike up there, so I had an excuse to wear this. The all-knowing eye. Yeah, dude. This is the all-knowing eye. See, it's been through a lot of hell and back, so it's the all-knowing eye. It's not the all-seeing. He's already this bowl is one step ahead. This is the all-knowing eye. So, well, I'll have to let everyone know about that as soon as they come in. But I can still take a hit off this thing. I mean, I could. I just have to put my whole fucking mouth around this thing, like this, like, instead of just like, So, that's gonna be a little weird. It's probably not going to be the most comfortable of hits, but what can you do? So, yeah. And here's the rest of the bowl thing itself. So, I mean, it's just like, wow. Just wow. So, the reason I said you were hot was a comment you made the other night about seeing more guys than girls' fannies. Ah, okay, so you're just trying to play some of that psychology on me, bro. You're just trying to do a little bit of psychology. Try to play with my head there a little bit. But it's true, though. I mean, but that thing still stands. Like, I've noticed that. I don't know if it's just me or what, but you said you noticed it and were pondering it as what it was. Yeah, same here. I still don't really know. I think it's just I guess, I don't know, if it's because I look a little bit more effeminate, which I don't think I am, but I'm not too sure. I guess it's just how I present myself or something. I don't know. I'll have to ask people who are like interested or have made comments. I'll have to ask them, but I don't know. I'm gonna load something up. I can only speak for myself. Well, yeah, exactly. So I mean, I can only speak for myself too in that sense. So I'll have. That's why I have to ask for everybody. But you need to do a poll. Oh yeah, I should do a poll. That'll be interesting. But I'll have to find out how to get the explanation out of them. You know what I mean? Like, I have to figure out, like, what's your reasoning. So if it's like, you interested, yeah, why? Like, I'll have to, like, make a comment section or something like that, or something. I don't know. But that'll be interesting. To try, check it out. Alright, this is gonna move right there. Grab the bag. You're hot, you're steamy, good looking, hottie, yum yum. Oh boy. Oh damn. Good evening, comrade. Good evening, comrade. Good evening. Are you ready to play some more games? Some more other games? Hold on. Boom, bitch. Boom, bitch, yeah. Yeah, I got that shit. So, good evening, comrade. Do you have the papers? Yeah, but that came in earlier today, so I rode my bike up to the store, wore the thing. It's like, it's heavy, so it's because it's a steel helmet, but it's actually not too bad. It's not too bad on the head. It's just when you start, like, wearing a bunch of shit, and you over-encumber yourself and stuff, and especially in the heat, it will get hot, but I mean, I wasn't wearing this when I went up there. I was just wearing, like, a t-shirt, my pants. That was about it. So, it was alright going up there. Hit the shelters. Exactly. Playing Company of Heroes again. I am a general, of course. My papers are in order. Good. Good. You will make great victories and achievements for our great movement. But there's actually some sad news to say about the movement. I think you recognize the top of that. Yeah. It sort of snapped in half, so I kind of have to work with what I got now. And then, after that, the bowl broke. So, the all-seeing eye will have to be temporarily out of commission until we can just makeshift this bullshit right here. I just don't be a good general. Old Eye Command will send you to Gulag. That's true. That's true. You must be the most patriotic of generals. So, I have this bowl called the All-Knowing Eye. This is the All-Seeing Eye. This is the All-Knowing Eye. Because you got, it already makeshift. It's already been through hell. It already knows everything through the things it have seen. So, it is the All-Seeing Eye. Don't think, you can't have men being more loyal to you than them. That's true. The one thing I can personally attest to in your ignorism is how people change and growth in time. I am proof of it. Exactly. I mean, I think by the time there's like by the time I've been going on for like 5 years or something like that, I'm sure that even I would be proof of it. I could probably look at videos I've done in the past, and I'll be like, there's things I even disagree with this now, so let me rebuke myself. So, I mean, there's probably going to be things that I'll be saying the same thing to myself and all that. But, yeah. I just wanted to check up with you guys on this stream. Let everyone know my nice new little toy I'm going to play around with now. So, I guess not really a toy, it's a helmet, but... And also, I got new things I'm going to be recording as well today, and get some other shit done. Maybe there'll be another live stream later today too. Like I said, I'll get a little batch of things coming out for everyone to enjoy within the week. A video a day keeps the AIDS away. Wham. Alright, well now I'm gonna try to see how hitting this decrepit chamber. You have only gotten better. Sweet. One thing I could personally test. Oh, we already read that part. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Like at this point, I think there's no other direction than to go better. Because if I'm like starting to throw some stuff out there that's just way worse than what I'm doing now or what I'm trying to do, then like, well, I'm not going to do that. Like, I mean, what I'm trying to do is just look towards things that can better myself now. I'm not going to do like some cringy shit. Like, I might, like, there's all sorts of different ideas I want to do. Like, I mean, like, one thing I like to do is snowboard too, and I have a GoPro, so I want to get, like, whenever I go to the mountain and shit, I'll probably, like, take my GoPro up there and have just, like, compilation of snowboards and shit going down, because that's what I like to do and everything. Do some Egghead shit. Isn't that channel Egghead? Whoever that dude is. I've heard him from the nethers of the internet. So I don't know. I have to check that out. See what the hoopla is and everything. Now that I'm about to take this, I'm a little nervous because I don't know what this short-barreled chamber is going to do to me. Considering I have to put my whole mouth around this instead of just like do it like a suction. I'm going to have to do like a super suck. He's pretty spurgy. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's actually, I'm going to do like a few snap videos, like less than 30 minutes, to see how that does. So I'll probably do like a snap of doing like 3 Kyle videos and then doing a reboot of someone who did a response to Kyle Kalinske. Who's a literal nobody as well. So I think I'm just beating other low-hanging fruit right now. I am low-hanging fruit at the moment, and I'm looking at other low-hanging fruit to beat upon so I can, bring myself up to the top from smushed low-hanging fruit that I've beaten to pulps. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have. I think for that guy, I might have a little sympathy for because I don't know who or care who he is. He's got about 20 subs more than me, but considering the circumstances, that's nothing. That's like I might as well like talk to every one of those audience members that he has, and I bet I can win half of them over. I don't know, or at least persuade them enough to check me out. No, I won't do that, but I probably have that capability as low-hanging fruit here. Like I couldn't like go to every one of those channels and be like, hey, I think you subscribe to this guy. Check me out instead, cause he's a plebeian. Are you still up for rafting on the river? We're leaving you now if you want to kick it. There's a few things I was gonna record, so I might not be making it for that rafting trip, but that looks fun though. That sounds fun. So, but you should record that. Send it to me. See what you guys are all see what all is going on. So I'll be down to see what's going up. But yo, you should like look what happened though, Stefan. Look what happened here. But at the same time, look what I got. So there's like a mixture of sadness and then also happiness. No, Stefan, don't leave yet. Look at this baby. Look at this new bad boy I just got. Oh shit, hold on. I gotta make sure it's fitting on my head. Oh my god. The leather's so old, it just like it's kind of stiff. But that's okay. There we go. Hell yeah, that's what I say. So now I got a new helmet to ride my bike with, and plus whenever I get in full dress like I am right now, I at least have the helm to go. That's how you know it's quality. I mean, there's meant to be foam. Like, check this out. So, okay, you can't really see. Here, hold on. I'll just flip the camera around. Where do okay. I'll get the flash on so you can see. Okay, so you see this? That's meant to be foam. That's meant to go all the way around the back, and there's meant to be some foam, a batch of foam that goes all the way in the front. They're now tiny little bits of like just nothing, dude. It's like this. I don't even know what that is. Now all Ignar needs is to. Now that all Ignar needs to do is let someone shoot someone with an MP40 take shots at me. He will get that World War II Soviet experience This is called the East German experience. I'll be shooting German-made quality AKs, good sir. Or Russian PPS H-41s, whichever. Or the PPS 43s, or the Mosin Nagant, or the SKS 45, or the RPD, or the Makarov, or the PKK, or the Walther. I mean, finding out what equipment they used is not that hard. They kind of had a pretty basic standard line of stuff they used. Like, you can find out, like, not how much arms they had, but, like, how many, like, vehicles they might have had, like, for tanks or, like, BMPs and stuff like that. Can we get a special edition live stream where Suzuki gets the Soviet experience? Isn't this what that is already, technically? It's just not literally the Soviet Union. It's just a more autonomous state of the Soviet Union, if you want to just go ahead and look at it like that. I mean, if you want to look at the Warsaw Pact, it's just like the greater Soviet Union. That didn't recognize it as the Soviet Union, but its own separate little states. So, yeah. But let me see how this works with the all-knowing eye and the crippled chamber. This is just the crippled chamber now. That's just what I can call it. Until it's repaired, then it will only be just be known as the decrippled chamber instead of the chamber. It's now the decrippled chamber. I'm a little nervous. I think this might be harsh, but I don't know. I don't know. So, we can only just do it. Already had to apply for a license to get laid in the union. What? Huh? Really? I never heard that. I mean, I've heard of, like, ideas of policy where if you didn't want to have a child or anything like that, you can have, like, there's been people who kind of spread the idea of, like, hey, if we had this little card to let people know I don't want a child or something like that, you can do that. But it's never been implemented. But I didn't hear about the other way around. It's like, I want a child. Only people with cards who want children get delayed. Might be an old American propaganda, though. Probably. That sounds like it, because I've never heard of, like, that would have been kind of a main prevalent thing, and also, wouldn't that cause a population problem in the other way around, like, a lack of population to support the industry and the state? I mean, there's, like, a little bit of a balance with that. So, I mean, I'm sure you can look at a lot of imbalances within the Soviet Union, because it's pretty prevalent, and also there was just Cold War, so there's a lot of military build-up as well, instead of just trying to boost up your own industry and your own state. I began a conservative, quiet, peace-loving straight male. Now I believe I'm more radical than you. Funny thing is, if me and you were in a lineup, who do you think would pick out as a anarchist? Probably not me, because while I have, like, some anarchistic tendencies, I guess you can say, because I am a pretty rebellious person, and libertarian in that nature, I probably wouldn't call myself an anarchist, but I don't know. I think that would be better comparison with Harley and you, because Harley's identifies more as an anarchist than any of us. So, sounds like a conversation between you two there. Though I think probably it would most likely be you if it was between us, because I don't totally identify with it, but there's tendencies of anarchism that I have. Okay. Okay, dokie. Apparently I look like a hippie. I mean, if I wanted to, I could too. But I just choose not to totally look like a hippie. Alright, well, I'm gonna try not to cut my lips or my face. I look like a neo-hippie. I've never heard of neo-hippie, but I guess that just means a new age hippie. I guess I could identify as a new age hippie. I never heard of it, so I have to see what makes the differences between a new age hippie and a hippie. So, that sounds interesting. I never heard of that. I never heard of neo-hippie before. I'm like almost mind blown by that. I'm like, whoa. Huh. That's why I've been called, never bothered to look it up. I guess it's just a new age hippie, basically. I think that's just all it means. I guess it's just like the second wave of hippies, basically. It's like the second hippie movement. It's what a neo-hippie is. That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's just, or at least that's my best guess of what a neo-hippie is. It's like the new wave hippie movement, which I can see. I think there will probably be a lot more of that in marijuana. So, like, neoliberals? Neoliberals are way worse. I think neo-hippies are probably better than a neoliberal. Unless there are neo-hippie neoliberals. Because everything must have neo in it now, I guess. But, I don't know. Neo! Let's just call it neoism. Let's just lump everything neo just to neoism. It's like everything new age. Just fuck the old, here's the new. Like, that's might as well what it be at this point or something, I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna see how this works. Enough fucking around, enough bullshit and procrastinating. I just hear Ann Coulter. And that wasn't too bad. So, okay. A lot of original hippies became neoconservatives. I would say, I could kind of agree to that because my mom used to call herself a hippie, but the only thing I could really say that she would probably identify with is moderate Republican, because there's a lot of things that her and I have agreed with before, but at the same time, there's a lot of things like decorum, linguistics with language that we have issues with, and a lot of other social things, so this wasn't as bad, so I'm just going to keep taking hits off it. Ew, Republicans! I just say ew, radical Republicans, if that. I mean, the ones I have issue with are the ones who don't listen or anything like that. Like, Republicans like the old man, Robert, who was just in here, or my mom, who are at least open to hearing you, at least just willing to hear what you're going to say. I mean, I have tremendous much more respect for them, and I'm willing to at least go in further discussion with them than someone who's just going to be like, nope, you're wrong, blah, blah, and then just spew out some weird, crazy, fanatical shit. I have no patience with those type folks. I'm just like, nope, not going to deal with that bullshit. So, I mostly deal with those type of people like Robert or my mom, who are far more sensible, and my mom honestly mainly just doesn't care about the politics anymore at all, so she just listens to what I say just to hear my point and just hear what I think about it. So would you talk to the vigilant Christian Mario? Maybe just to kind of lightly fuck on him a little bit because he's ridiculous, but I wouldn't like have a literal serious discussion because I'm not going to be able to take anything he says seriously, and I don't, honestly. Like I know enough that he's willing to believe it enough to spew it, so why should I? But I don't even know if he even takes himself seriously in that case, but honestly I think he does, and honestly he's just kind of mentally challenged too. Like, talks about his anxiety a lot and everything, and how his mind is whatever, and shit like that, and used to, like, I honestly think he's just dealing with insecurities in his life that he just needs to sort out, and he's just using the scapegoat of religion to escape it, instead of actually working with his problems and fixing them with his own personal self, and just using God as a crutch. Like, that's one of the main reasons for religion, is that it's a crutch. He blatantly calls Venom a demon. Well, I'm not gonna lie that Venom looks demonish in nature, but that doesn't mean he's a literal demon or anything like that. That's just to add to a theme to his character as Venom. So, he's not a demon, I mean, there's things you can say that can operate like one, but to me, demons don't exist. But like the mentality of what makes a demon, I guess, I can say exists, because there's things that we say are just demonic in nature, but aren't literal demons or anything like that. It's just that they're so vile and wretched that they could be considered. And I can see that with Venom, but there's, I mean, if anything, it's just more of a disturbing, creepy character that, I mean, I haven't seen Venom anyway, so I don't even know what I could say about that character that much. I don't know too much about Venom, so I do know he has, like, looks of one a little bit, but it's still enough of, like, a Spider-Man-ish type of figure that you can recognize that's what the main premise of what Venom is. He's like a antagonistic Spider-Man. That's kind of the main thing of what Venom is. So I understand that much, but that doesn't make him a demon or anything like that. So, again, I just can't take that seriously. That's just ridiculous. It's like, what? I'm such a Venom fanboy. I have his symbiote tattoo. Cool. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that have Venom fanboyism as something they enjoy. Like I know there are people who would, like, straight up let Venom fuck them and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here like, whoa, okay then. Okay then. That's a step too far for me. I don't really normally delve into that type of scenario where I'm like, ooh, let's get fucked by Venom, or like, ooh, let's get fucked by Superman or something like that. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather make my own character to be fucked by if that's the case. Carnage, the offspring of Venom, bonded with Cletus Cassidy, a serial killer. Well, there you go. I mean, and people can probably say that Cletus Cassidy was like some sort of like a demon type of human being, considering he's a serial killer, but again, doesn't make him a demon, doesn't make Venom a demon, so the visual Christian Mario is just being dumb. Joker ripoff in the Marvel Universe. A little bit. I could kind of see that as like a pseudo Joker, but not literally a Joker, because he's not. But I can see similarities between the two for sure, but done well. Yeah, like I don't think he's the Marvel Joker, but there's a lot of implementations of the Joker, especially the dark side and the chaotic nature of the Joker. They definitely implemented that in with Venom, which I do like. I think with what I can look at and see with the movie so far, I think that they've done it pretty well. So I'll have to check out the movie. It looks really cool. It looked like a pretty good movie to check out. I just never got hyped for it because I'm done getting hyped over shit, honestly, before it's released. I'd rather get hyped for things that are already released and people actually can come back and say, this is actually good, check it out. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at it. Look up The Meg. The Meg! Well, is it like a demonic Meg Griffin that just like takes revenge on everyone who said, shut up, Meg, and just brutally tortures them to death in like a dungeon? Is that what The Meg is? Is it like the evil soul and evil incarnate of what Meg Griffin is? By the way, if you want, no, let me have my fun. By the way, if you want to hear the more crazy right-wing guy, Lars Larson, here he is.
And now he has decided to amend those comments and suggests that he has a slightly different message for Americans about whether or not he believes the intelligence agencies who say that the Russians meddled in American elections in 2016. Of course, there's still no evidence that that meddling was aimed at making Donald Trump president or making Hillary Clinton president.
I have full faith and support.
Okay, there's something I agree with him, because it's the Russia narrative that I don't agree with. So that's just something okay, whatever. That's something I can get with, because I do believe there's evidence of a hacking, because it happened. But I think what was in the emails and shit's far more important than who the fuck did it. I don't give a shit who did it. People hack all the time. This is what happens in election times and shit. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if there's actual intentions to collude to make a certain figure president, then that's one thing, but there's no evidence of that. So, I'm not, no. Just no. That is like, at this point, you're beating a dead horse. The horse isn't even a horse anymore. It's just a mushy clump of meat that you mushed together. Like, it's done. Just like, let's talk about the investigation as an investigation for like money laundering and collusions with corporations and other maybe foreign oligarchical bodies that support other governments as well and shit that have other agendas in mind. They're trying to get America to win over, or at least the establishment to, sway that in their favors. That's just what it is. It's just the establishment, taking advantage of it. It doesn't matter who is the pawn in the presidency. Russia has been an enemy since the fall of the Union. Leave them alone since they won't mess with us. Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, in the most optimal world, we would not be in these 8 wars dealing with the whole fucking world domination game of who's gonna, you know, be the world leader. Russia, America, or China, whatever the fuck. It's just like, how about we just all be world leaders and we all come together as the humans, as like humans, and, you know, fucking, you know, like, have leaders from every part of the world come together and shit. Like, I'd rather have that. No. It's so fortunate that so many Democrats are stuck in the past election. More money to be made killing each other. I mean, that's just how the establishment sees it. I think you can make money, like, saving people and shit. And I think you can make money fucking preserving the world and preserve the environments. Like, the renewable green energy boom is just waiting to happen. In fact, it's already happening elsewhere in the world. Like, China's already investing in renewable energies, including in other countries. And there's the West in Europe. They've already been taking measures to move green. It's too late anyway. Well, when it comes to the climate change, I do think that, but we can at least try to make the negative outcome the least severe as we can possibly make it. Like, it's already going to be bad. But all we can do now is just prep for that and do what we can to make at least the long-term negative effects not as severe as they're going to be. They're already going to be severe. It's hot as fuck right now in Oregon. And it's not even hot as it was yesterday and 2 days ago. But it's still hot as fuck, dude. It's awful. And, like, Oman had, like, temperatures of 107 for over 50 some hours. Like, that's more than 2 days. Like, what the fuck? Oh, climate change is just fake, bro. Really? There's places where people can barely live because it's too hot. It's almost hot here in Alabama to go outside. Exactly. If you can't even go outside because it's too hot, then something's happening. So.
You don't know, man.
I cannot do for you right now, because I do them for you right now, then I might just lose the election.
Feels like 104 here. Feels like around 100 here. Left my AC unit on since April. Basically same here. I mean, we turn it off at night when no one's awake, because it actually kind of cools down a little bit at night. And one thing we do is we use our water hoses and spray down the sides of the house and everything, and that helps it keep it cool too. Because the water that we have is really cold. Because it comes from Cascade. A lot of Oregon, or at least a lot of Portland's water, comes from the Cascade Mountains, like Mount Hood and stuff like that. So, it's fairly cool. So, we're okay. Like, I mean, there's ways we can deal with the heat up here, but it should pee on your home too. Why? Worst thing is, if global warming continues someday, we would have polar caps to dream of. At that point, we wouldn't have, like, give it protective coating. Well, how would piss give it protective coating? Why would I do that? I mean, sometimes I go outside to pee on a bush if the bathrooms are being used, but that's about it. What? Blackouts?
Power plants, like nuclear plants. Additionally, lawmakers are being forced to respond to growing complaints from utilities and ratepayers on the implementation of net metering. That's a subsidy program that compensates solar panel owners for the amount of solar power that they send back to the grid. Is it time for them to finally cut off the solar power subsidies? I would say yes. Let's use the private marketplace to decide what method best supplies America with the electric power it needs. Today's Twitter poll found
how about no? We can't afford to do that, bitch. Okay, here's something that I can rant about since we're already on the topic. How about no? How about we just nationalize our energy? Health benefits? I don't think there actually is. I'm not doing that. I'm not drinking my piss. No, fam. No. Like, No.
Hold on a second. We got a little technical problem there, which we can fix, but it takes just a moment to fix.
Are you going to get into golden showers?
There
No.
we go. Sorry about that.
Like, I had a phase where I was curious about it, but after I thought about it for a long time, I'm like,
What's that, David?
I just thought about it.
Thank you very much.
Sorry for the mix-up, but
And it's like, wait, that's bodily waste.
Hey, I just wanted to say first off, I've been
Nah,
listening to
I'm
you
good.
for about 3.5 years.
Also smells bad.
I think
So
it's
nah,
great to have people
I'm
actually
good, fam.
come forward and bring
Do you want
facts
Wolfman
to the table.
peeing on you? No.
And I just wanted to speak
No.
about Trump misspeaking
Nah, I'm
over in
good.
Helsinki. Anybody who watched
Like, I'm willing to admit shit. So, that's why I said I'm willing to admit that there was a phase, I don't know, like 2 years ago, I guess. Squirt is mostly pee. I mean, it's a pee-like liquid. It's not actually literal piss, because it doesn't taste like it. At least from what like sexologists have said, and also just what from other people I've said. So I mean, it's a little bit of anecdotal and a little bit of, you know, people making a theory of what it might be, but it's still like, I mean, I don't know. It could be, but how would you know what pee tastes like, Ignar? I really don't want to answer that question. I'm not going to. I'm not delving more down this rabbit hole of water sports. This is fucking like why. Why did you brought this up? Why did you bring this up? Like, what the fuck? No one asked for this to be brought up. Fam. Like, what the hell? Why?
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans.
Why?
Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences. But today's
Why is it kite off residue?
can leave you with unexpected higher payments.
Well, I just loaded a little bit of resin myself, so hey, I'm about to join you here. Not that I have bud already, but
From unpredictable interest
might as well. My tolerance is so low, it took wood of weed resin.
credit to provide you with a verified approval.
You did not finish your sentence. There you go. Knocks me out. Damn, son. Man, this is getting good. Let me get popcorn. Ah! Joe's just like, ooh, this is getting giggity. I need to, like, protect myself from the fucking, like, water sports bombardment I'm getting, dude. I need to protect myself from the water sports bombardment. No. 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 Stop it. Stop it. No. No. This helmet just looks so fucking... Like, now that I actually got it, instead of seeing it in pictures and shit, it definitely has, like, a really interesting look to it, dude. Just, like, sticks out. Trump is doing the best to make America the worst place to live. I agree. Also has a nice little bing to it. Back when steel helmets were still being used. Are steel helmets, like, still being used in, like, any Western modern nation? Besides, like, shit like Egypt or something like that? Which I don't think is totally... It covers your hair. It does. It does. I miss Obama. I don't really. Africa, I'm sure. I know Egypt does because I've seen pictures where they had their own little, like, nets, like camo nets and stuff like that all over them, but I can tell that they had the M50... what this is an M56 steel helmet. So I can tell that the Egyptians did have some of those in their army reserve, at least, because I saw a couple of their troops in pictures have them while they're, like, out in the streets and stuff. Obama, Bush, Trump. I mean, if you're going to put it in that list, I will say the same thing, but that's not saying much to me. Honestly, I don't know what is worse, Bush or Trump. I think Bush is just worse just because he's an actual war criminal, and he got us into illegal wars and stuff like that, so I think he would probably be, but that's still a debate. I still find that to be a debate.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual. Visit us online.
Probably wouldn't be alive.
Visit us online to get a quote and you could save $783. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Portland's most traffic 24/7. Very heavy up to Vancouver right now. Half an hour by
Yeah, he was funny. He dodged a shoe. I have that to make an exception for. He dodged that shoe like a fucking Matrix from, like Neo from the Matrix, dude. Oh god, that tasted terrible. Oh, why did I succumb myself to that? Why? I guess I did it for you, Venom. Enjoy my fucking weird face for like a minute or two. But, yeah, dude, I have to say that Bush, he was a fucking Matrix. I wish it was a grenade instead of a shoe. Oh my god, that would be... I mean, damn, son. I feel the same way, but... I mean, I don't know how the world would look like that. We would have Cheney as president then. Think about that. To me, I actually find Cheney to be worse. I find him to be way worse than Bush. Because in a lot of ways, I thought he was running the administration more than Bush really was. Because I think he was just a little sock puppet for the administration there. So, I mean, not that most presidents at this point are sock puppets. Oh, thank God. Oh, God, thank God it was a shoe. Yeah, see my point? I feel the same way, but, I mean, do we, like, it's like the Trump-Pence situation. Would you rather have Trump or would you rather have Pence? Both are probably equally as bad. I think Pence might be a little bit worse, but I think Trump is so far proving to be worse, but one could say that Pence could be worse, and I don't want to take that chance, you know what I mean? I'd rather just muster with what we got and just get him out in 2020 if we can, and if the Democrats want to. And I say want to because they have candidates, or at least they have options who the people would actually rather have instead of candidates that they probably want themselves. Trump breaks with the right on some issues. He does. That's why I think endure with what you can with him. Because there's things that, like, I don't even really, like, shit talk Trump that much besides just of, his policies at this point, because there's just nothing else to really talk about him on besides what he might be doing. And at this point, it's just like, I mean, if you just don't understand that he's doing corrupt policies and benefit for himself and the establishment, then you're just being ignorant and dumb at that point. So expect that always, and at this point, you got nothing else to criticize him on. I mean, you might as well just call him out for when he does this corrupt shit, but that's about as much as you can do. I mean, he's been attacked so much, he's like literally invulnerable from attacks at this point. Maybe his boyfriend, Vladimir, will give him some beachfront property. Damn, son. He disrespected the queen? Good. Fuck the monarchy, dude. I was talking about that with Robert earlier, and I was like, honestly, I don't give a fuck he did this. If anything, it makes me a little glad. Good. He trolled the queen. Like, that's something I actually don't mind at all about him. He just fucked on the queen a little bit. Good. She shouldn't be a queen. She's a queen by name. That's it. Sorry, UK, but fucking monarchies are not a thing anymore. They're obsolete. There's a better form of government, so use those. Saudi Arabia is just so far behind, it's not even worth trying to tell them that it doesn't work anymore because they're just stuck in their own backwards world. So that's just a whole nother thing, but at this point, monarchies are obsolete. They're inferior, they're primitive, and barbaric too, honestly. Like, fucking get rid of these, like, monarchy. Even, like, by cultural standards, get rid of the monarchy. They're fucking worthless. They're worthless. I mean, the queen is just an over-glorified grandma of the whole world, dude. That's all she is. She's just a glorified grandma who has, like, fucking luxuries and shit that no one else can have besides elitists like herself, because she's a smug elitist bitch. Get back to piss. What the fuck? They say Putin has a video of Trump getting pissed on in his sex act. Yeah, the PP tape. And I don't think that exists, honestly. I think that's just a bluff and his bullshit. If it does exist, I don't think he's getting peed on. He's probably doing it. Or he's watching the porn stars piss on each other and fuck each other or something like that. But he's not getting involved because he's just a germaphobe. Ignar, I heard Saudi Arabia pays Americans to live there and speak propaganda. I wonder if Arabian girls are beautiful. I'm sure they are. There's been a couple that I've seen out of their jobs or whatever the fuck they're wearing. That do look beautiful, but I don't know if every single one of them are, but a good portion, I would say, probably are. Especially the very young. Not by, like, young as in, like, 14, but young as in, like, 18, 19, 20. I'm sure they're probably, like, some of the most beautiful women there. But, yeah. But I'm surprised, like, no one is proud of me on my rant there about the Queen, because my fucking... Yeah, I'm probably going to say the same shit, because I'm almost going to respond to that, too. So, maybe that's why his hair is so orange. We should move there and browse the open-air markets. Yeah, because those are the only Arabian open-air markets that we can go to that aren't going to get droned. So, if I were to go to an open-air market in the Middle East to kind of experience the culture, I would honestly rather go to Saudi Arabia. But I won't fund their government, so I wouldn't fly there either. So I would never just go to Saudi Arabia, honestly. If I had to probably pick somewhere that probably doesn't have the risk of being droned, I probably could go to, I guess, Jordan or something like that. But even then, or maybe Iran, those would probably be the only places that aren't risk of being droned to shit. Even though Iran is technically the enemy of America. My aunt was in Somalia and told me they were selling RPGs out in the open. Dude, I would totally just buy one with like 2 rockets just to like find an abandoned car in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in Somalia and use it. I don't like... Why not, dude? I mean, if it's in the middle of nowhere, just this abandoned, rusted, old, broken car, why not buy an RPG with like a rocket or 2 and go have fun? Like, that's what Americans do, but instead of RPGs, they got shotguns and beer cans. I mean, that's just the Somalian kid's way of going out in the middle of nowhere and shooting cans. That's the Somali version of doing it. You buy an RPG and blow a car up. Why not, dude? It's Somalia. Buy one in a Russian uniform and fire it at a Humvee. Or I could just wear this. I could just wear the East German uniform. They had RPGs too. Why is everyone, like, when they think of the communism, it's just nothing but Soviets? Other people can be commies too. And the Germans were. So that's why I support German, fully automated gay space communism. The German way. It's the German way. Alright, I'm gonna load some more up. Move his helmet out of the way. Guy's talking about making bombs in his basement. What's up, Carl? The Russians funded all those commies. Damn straight, dude. Damn straight. What it do, Carl? Guess what I got today? Got this bad boy. So, finally came in. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this bag here and load up another bowl. I might wrap it up here in like 30 more minutes because I got some stuff that I want to talk about on pre-recorded shows here. So I'll get like 2 of those recorded and upload that. I was gonna have something for like 2 come up from yesterday, but I passed out before I could pull research on the other one. So I'm probably gonna do that one plus something I was gonna talk about today too. But yeah. I'm just gonna move this somewhere else where it's just like in the background. How about this? There we go. That works. It'll be in the background. There we go. It works fine by me.
The Senate hearing that investigated that, and they said they sent money over there allegedly to help out the Palestinians, and they ended up building voter databases and hiring people to try to make sure Netanyahu didn't get reelected. I haven't heard a single American politician during all of this say, well, we vow to never involve ourselves in trying to change the outcome of an election in a foreign country. And I don't think any one of them ever would.
Okay, what about the Shah of Iran when we overthrew that motherfucker in Iran in the 50s and 60s? What about the countless banana republics we try to instill into Latin America? What about, oh my god, that's a joke, dude. What a joke. What? Oh my god, that's just total dishonesty right there. Total dishonesty. And what about now? Like, what about with the whole situation with Assad and with Iraq, with Saddam Hussein? Regime change, regime change. What bullshit. What a fucking liar, dude. What about Cuba, who we funded before they turned communist? Yeah, with Batista, with General Batista, who had a fascist military state that we put in there. I mean, the United States supports 73% of the world's dictatorships. Spreading freedom and democracy, bullshit, dude. It's all about just a petrodollar and just to get more money, more profit for the establishment. It's always been about that. Just what a fucking lie. This is why Lars Larson is terrible compared to Clyde Lewis. Like, with Clyde Lewis, like, whenever we're doing streams, like, from 7 o'clock onward here, Clyde comes on. And whenever, you know, I'm doing a stream, he happens to be on, there's things that him and I actually have, like, I'll have a discussion on a point he's made that isn't just like, oh, you're just lying or whatever. Like, but that was just a lie, dude. Like, there's no other way to say that, but you're just lying or being, you know, willfully ignorant to the issues at hand. What bullshit. Oh my god. That was just straight, that was just straight up dishonesty. I don't know if that was a literal lie, but super dishonest. That's for sure. Oh my god.
Did not interfere in the 2016 elections. Here's more from CBS News correspondent.
Okay, so
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
A day after seemingly throwing his intelligence community under the bus and siding with Vladimir
okay,
Putin
well,
over whether Russia interfered in
so
the
if that's what he
2016
said,
election,
I don't see reason why there would be meddling. Don't say that. Look, that's a bad choice of words. I do believe that there's no evidence of it, but don't say I don't think there's a reason that there would be, or whatever. I mean, people have a reason that there would be, despite it being bullshit. I mean, say that I believe there's a lack of evidence to support the idea of actual collusion. It's the D standing together, democracy, dictators, yeah. At this point, that D might as well be an O, honestly, for oligarchical. Maybe not dictatorish, but oligarchical. So at least still give an impression of democracy in that idea. Give the impression, not that they actually support it. Fuck the intelligence community. It kind of depends on which one. So, like, I won't, like, go glory holing like the FBI or shit like that. But, I mean, like, with the CIA and everything like that, I definitely would say, yeah, dude, just fuck the intelligence community. So I guess just in general concept, yeah. Like, the intelligence should just, like, unless it's, like, for some genuine, like, specific shit, then it shouldn't be classified or, like, secreted, you know? Like, what the government does, like, should be accountable towards the public. Like, the public should know about it. Like, they shouldn't, like, we're paying these people, essentially, for our tax dollars to protect us and, like, you know, ensure our lives are better. Even though that's obviously not what they're going to do. But there's a trust in there that we do that. To allow, you know, to hope that, you know, they, in return, make sure that we are allowed to live and just be living. So, I mean, like, so with, like, whatever, like, the FBI or CIA or whatever they're doing anything, like, that should be out in the open, period. Like, no matter what. There shouldn't be any, like, room of secrecy in these agencies. Like, they should be public for the most part. Not even for the most part, but just in entirety. Like, if it's, like, some, like, top secret, like, there's some, like, military technology research that we're doing and stuff like that, okay, I'll make an exception and shit like that. Or, like, nuclear codes, like, you know, there's obvious things that should not be to the public, of course. But when it comes to, like, general policy or, like, general things that are going on, you know, just like the day-to-day things or, you know, or operations that they might be conducting, I think the public should be knowing about that, especially if it's domestic. And if the public doesn't like it, then they should have their fucking say as to that. And also, I think the public might just want to say dismantle the CIA, which I agree with. Abolish that shit. Like, the two agencies I would abolish right now is ICE and CIA. Both of those. And if you check out my Sarcon video that I did earlier today, I kind of went into my reasoning as to why I would abolish ICE. So, I won't re-say what I've already said, but it's only like an hour video, so it won't be that long. You can go ahead and check that out. So, yeah, man. But Venom, I saw you wanted me to hit the resin again. I am. I just added some green so it doesn't taste so shitty. So, I will, though. I will. You know, how would you think of a border should be enforced, if at all? I think it should be enforced. I'm not against enforcing your own borders of your state. Like, to me, it should be viewed, like, not moderately, but rationally. How many tomatoes do you see? 3. Then why should we get rid of ICE? Because we still have, because that still has borders and border protections despite of ICE. Like, we still have customs and border protections. That's still a thing. Like, they still operate. We still have border patrol. Like, I mean, there's other agencies and other things that allow border protections. Like, the ICE is just an extra, in my opinion, more Orwellian, authoritative wing of it. And it's unnecessary. Because look what they've been doing, honestly. And, like I said, that's why I'm saying refer back to the Targon video, because I went way more in detail with that. And, when are you going to do some game reviews? Probably not soon, but I think ICE should be changed, but it's necessary. Well, I feel like this is where our opinions differ then. But, like I said, I went in more detail, and there's points that I'm forgetting offhand right now, but I know that I've said that, I've explained a little better in that video that I said, that I was talking into yesterday, so, I'd just, again, refer to that. I think I said it about halfway in the video and then continued on because it got brought back up in Sargon's video, because I only watched half of it before I watched it again that time, so I didn't realize that was going to be brought up again, but, you know, I brought it more up again. And then I also brought counterpoints as to why I think ICE is a fucking problem right now. Of course, Karl Rove is in favor of the American version of the Gestapo. Of course he is. He's Karl Rove. He was in the Bush administration. They implemented it, of course. Of course he would love to make sure it is kept and protected. I mean, they don't have the papers. What are you going to do? They don't have the papers. Don't you understand? You need the papers. Oh, yes, because enforcing borders is inherently racist. I'm not saying it's not. I mean, I do agree with border protections, which is why we have customs and border protections, and also border patrol. Like, there's other. Have you played Papers, Please? I want to, but I haven't yet. But I want to. It looks like a very fun game. But yeah, but like I was saying though, I mean, we already have border protections and stuff like that. We already have that. So, ICE, like I said, I think it's just a more authoritative, more Orwellian wing of this, of the multitude of agencies that already go into protecting our borders and enforcing them. If I remember right, one of the things I pulled up was one of Kyle's videos, actually. It was, evidence showing that ICE is getting involved with, like, slavery and shit with detainees, like people who were released from being detainees and stuff like that came out and said, yeah, they're using these prisons as, like, labor camps and stuff and forcing us to do work. So that sounds like a little bit like slavery, you know? So, I mean, there's shit about ICE that's just reprehensible that I think just, not because of just it as an entity, but just the reprehensible shit that's going on, along with what the CIA that has done and is still going on. Like, that's why, I mean, there's a lot of things why I think both agencies, I would say, should be dismantled. Then again, Alex Jones said ISIS is in Mexico. Well, that's just a load of, that's just ridiculous. You know the ISIS flag that people said that was near the border? That was a soccer jersey. Like, you remember that when that was a big thing? I mean, I don't really anymore, but like, apparently, like, some people who were near the border just, you know, chilling out or whatever, thought they saw an ISIS flag hanging in the bushes, and then Border Patrol went over there to look at it, and it was a fucking soccer jersey. Like, that person could have just walked up over there, and then just be like, hey, what is this? It looks like an ISIS flag. Is it? Let's walk up over there and see what it is. I'm curious. That's what I would say. I would look at it and be like, oh, it's a soccer jersey. Well, I'm done. Well, I'm dumb. Well, let me take this and throw it in the trash, I guess, because it's just hanging here all ripped and disheveled and just torn up and stuff. So that's what I would do. If it's still in good condition, I'd probably just drop it off at a local Goodwill or something. ISIS would be natural enemies of the cartel. Oh yeah, because ISIS hates drugs. The cartel doesn't make money off, likes making money off drugs. ISIS doesn't like drugs. Basically, yeah. I can understand getting rid of ISIS in America, but Europe needs border enforcement now more than ever. Well, because because I think they're way too moderate with their border protections. It's just their policies of how they enforce their own borders. Some countries in Europe, I would say, have it all right, but for the most part, like places like Germany and Sweden, France, and the UK, they're getting their hands full. Like, they can't take any more refugees or anything like that. And a part of that reason is due to the war on terror and also due to climate change. There's a lot of factors as to why these people are leaving the places that they're leaving. And also involves the policies that these European countries have. And there needs to be a more stronger vetting system that they need to be pushing for. I agree with a strong, very regulatory vetting system. I do agree with that. That's fine. Make sure that the people who want to come to your country and want to make a living here are reasonable, decent people, that want to come here because they want to make a living and who are willing to at least assimilate enough into the culture where they'll at least speak the main language of the country. I mean, you don't have to not just speak that language. I think it's actually beneficial to speak multiple languages, but at least able to understand and speak the same language of that country and to understand its laws and to understand the culture enough to, adapt yourself into it. It's not only migrants coming in, but in fact that sends the crime rates skyrocketing wherever they go and are disproportionately represented in the commission of sex crimes because they have like these little communes of Arabs and refugees basically, and that's the problem. The way they allow them to come in isn't the melting pot philosophy, which is, to me, the melting pot is you scatter, like when it comes to immigration, especially mass immigration, scatter them all over the place, everywhere. Instead of having them commute into one specific neighborhood or one specific area, because then they're just going to keep holding on to their own values, which, for at least with the Middle East, are pretty barbaric. Let's just be real, and they self-segregate. They don't want to integrate. That's why you make them. That's why you make them like live not even in the same city, but in different towns and different places. You gotta make them. Like, if they don't want to respect at least these basic standards, which aren't really that hard to follow. Let's be real. If I wanted to live in Germany, I can be alright with adapting and understanding the rules there. Racist. You don't want them to abandon their culture. Just tell them to fuck off at the border. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean with the vetting. If, they don't want to pass these standards, which will be part of the vetting system, then the likely of them being declined, it's going to be like 90 to 100%. If they don't like the basic standards of things like that, then find another country to live in that might have more lax standards then, or just hold out strong in where you're living then, or something. But if you can't at least try to assimilate into another country, I do have an understanding when it comes to at least the far right saying immigration is a problem. I just think they think it's more harm. I just think it's not as harmful as they believe it is. I think it can be, for sure. Yeah, definitely if you let it get out of control like it has been. But if it's well regulated and also you can vet people and try to disperse them with a melting pot idea of spreading them out throughout a country instead of congregating them or allowing them to congregate, or for, at least enough near each other where they'll keep it like that. I mean, we need a one world government. When it comes to my long term, 100, world philosophy, yeah. So I guess you can say I'm like a long term globalist in that case, I guess. A new world order, if you will. I mean, also that in term, New World Order has always been really stigmatized because in my view of what a New World Order would be, it wouldn't look terrible or anything like that. It would actually try to be as beneficial to the Earth and to the world and to the species as it possibly can. I was raised Muslim. It sucks, and I had it moderate. It pisses me off that no one in my fellow procs had, whoa, oops. Accidentally somehow pulled the menu up. Hope that didn't do anything, though. But, progress, have their head in the sand when it comes to Islam. I do agree. Like, I also think just all religions are a problem. I just think that Christianity and Islam happen to be the main two problems right now. I mean, Catholicism still has a very dark side of it that honestly has been being pushed out in the open lately, so I don't think they're a problem because their pants are a little bit on fire right now. So I think they're already being somewhat dealt with, or at least being exposed. They're at least being exposed. That's the main point. Let's be honest, the biggest threat to Europe is Islam by far. For Europe, I would probably say so. But if we're talking about the whole world, I would say both religions are. But, I mean, I just find it's Russia. Yep, it's totally Russia, dude. It's totally Russia. Yeah, but, I mean, I just find Islam and just, like I said, religions in general to be reprehensible and garbage. So, with that said, I don't like Islam just with that already, just with that in mind. And I already don't like it alone because of how, especially at least the more radical sects, especially like the Sunni Shia sects, are far more radical than more moderate sects of the Sunni Shia ideas. And also there's just a lot more minor sects of Islam that are far more peaceful or even just spiritual in nature. So, I mean, there are parts of Islam that I can at least respect, but the majority of what Islam is, which is the Sunni and Shia, is philosophies of Islam, and especially the more radical Sunni Islam, because that's the most prevalent is Sunni, like Wahhabism, and Sharia law type of ideologies, like those are the problem, and they just happen to be the most followed in Islam. So, if anything, like, there should be more of an encouragement to more believe the more minor sects and the more spiritual, more personal, like individualistic sects of Islam, like Ahmadiyya or Sufi, like other, like if they want to be religious, just push them to a more peaceful sect of it, or at least push a more peaceful ideology of it that's more freer. The standard for peaceful Islam is quite low. Still, a majority of migrants are coming from nations where a majority want homosexuality to be illegal, etc. Yeah, like, I mean, that's what I mean, like, when we have to vet these type of people who try to come in, because I just love how Venom is going on like a tirade of free market over here. Let's just read it all. It's Russia, it's China, North Korea, communism. We need to destroy all communists. Peaceful sects are minorities because the major sects suppress them. That's the problem. Like, we need to get the general populace of these major sects, open up to these different ideas instead of having their imams or whatever the fuck oppress it and give them the idea, oh, it's wrong and everything. Because the main problem is the organization of it, and Saudi Arabia funds a lot of this radical Islam anyway. So if you want to look to a lot of the main reasons why Europe has such a main problem, look at Saudi Arabia partially, not totally, but partially funding it. One of the things they do in return is they will build mosques and have pastors or whatever the fuck they're called come from Saudi Arabia to help establish and build communities. And Saudi Arabia is pretty Wahhabist in nature, and it's the ISIS that made it. So if you have that type of ideology being spread in these communities anyway already, then you are going to create a problem. If anything, Saudi Arabia is relishing the idea that Europe's being fucked right now. They love it. And they love it that Europe is, especially the establishment of Europe, is so oblivious to it that and giving them money that, Saudi Arabia is just laughing behind their face. They're just laughing behind their backs and everything. The Ronald Reagan will rise from the grave and be elected world president, and his name Donald Trump as his heir and son. The problem with Islamic fundamentalists is the fundaments of Islam. Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the because, I mean, Christianity, a lot of the main problems with the fundamentalists of Christianity is the fundaments of Christianity. A lot of the same, you can say the same thing for Catholicism. It's the same thing for all religions and all radicals, fundamentalists of any branch and idea. So, I mean, of course it does. I mean, like I said, I still just find Islam in general to just be reprehensible and just garbage anyway, just like all religions. So, I mean, like I said, that point just still stands. But if people want to be religious, then go to the more peaceful, more respectable ideologies. Then, like, go for that. Not, but obviously they're not going to, because the main, especially for at least the Middle East, the main ideas they're probably going to be more exposed to is a more radical view of Islam that's more militaristic, more fundamentalist, and more oppressive. But if you, like, go to India or some shit, they have, like, a more spiritualistic or at least a more peaceful, moderate view of it. Muhammad was not a hippie like Jesus, Zarathustra, or the Buddha. He was a conqueror and a warlord, and he held up the prime example of how a human should be in Islam. Yeah, and also he's a pedophile, so there you go. I mean, Muhammad is just a piece of shit all around. And funny how we can't see what he... Funny, he's an example of how a human should be, but you can't even depict what he looked like. So how can we see what a human would be depicted and look like if we can't see it? We don't have an example, bitch. So, Muhammad, you're fucking stupid. We need to go back to the old gods. Zeus would never let things get this bad. Odin praise you. Thor bless you with the thunder and wars pleasures of this world. Religion and government are like water and oil. Yeah, it needs to stay secular. I mean, I think one way to at least help with a lot of the problems with religion is to make the world secular. And if you can at least do that, regardless if people are religious or not, because there can be religious secularists, but if you can at least start with that, then you can work your way towards exposing the fundamentalists and people who are trying to, radicalize the religion and exploit it for their own natures. Religion is opiate for the masses? Exactly. Luckily, I'm not part of that mass. Because, I only have my own... I have my own personal opioid drive, and it's just thoughts and ideas, even then. There's a verse in the Hadiths where, somewhere where Muhammad talks about how he saw black people rubbing shit in their hair when he traveled to Africa. Honestly, there's been cultures that involved shit for some reason in various different ways, depending on the place. But I doubt it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's true. But I highly doubt it because it comes from the Hadiths. I want some opiates. I don't. Maybe kratom, but that's about it. One of the few things I didn't find boring that I read in Majid. Opioids for everyone. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just have opiates for everybody. For everybody. Honestly, if I ever, had an arm broken or some shit and I was prescribed painkillers, I wouldn't take a single pill. I'd just smoke weed the entire day. Fuck that, dude. I'm not taking those painkillers, man. If it's truly unbearable, okay, I'll probably have one, but fuck that. I'm not having any of it. I'd just rather smoke the bud all day, like CBD, get CBD vapes, CBD oils, rub it all over, where the source is and shit. Good boy. Exactly, man. See, I already got it, worked down how I want to do it. I take them like candy. Well, luckily I take weed like candy, but that's about it. Especially if it's, good quality bud. Then it's literally almost like candy. I'm worried about England is heading more civil strife eventually. I feel like a little bit of how that would get resolved if Scotland and the UK just broke up and Scotland became its own country. I feel like not all the issues, of course, because England itself is still going to have issues. And Wales, too. I guess it'll be England and Wales at that point. But I feel like there will be, at least for the federal state, there will probably be at least more, I guess, cooperation, instead of civil strife. So, I guess that's the word I'm trying to look for, is cooperation and, more opening up to different things, I guess. But I have no idea. I don't know UK politics, so I don't know what the fuck I can say what would be best for that. Crush up some Vicodin in your bowl? No! Why? No! That just sounds... Huh. Have, a three-way, but have, Vicodin in there, too? That would fuck me up, and it's good. Okay, then. Okay. Alright. This sucks, dude. I like your hat. What, this hat? Or this. I crush up some Xanax in your bowl. What's with you? Like, what's with all of you and opioids and Xanax and shit? I need to like get. I need to protect myself from the Xanax and Vicodin bombs, dude. Fuck this. I'm protecting myself from the Vicodin bombs. Protecting myself. Fuck you. The one you're wearing? Well, now I'm wearing this, so now you gotta choose, bitch. You gotta choose. You gotta choose now. Well, then we'd have no live stream that day. I like drugs. I do too, but I just want to take half of them. I just take, like, psychedelics, weed, spliffs occasionally. Well, not really occasionally. I'm just lying to myself if I say that. But, like, and maybe, and kratom too, and then, I think that's about it. I don't know what else I'd try to. I try anything once. I mean, that's kind of my motive, but with certain things, I just kind of leave out of the picture. But, yeah. Bing. Boom. Chill back over there. I've done more than my fair share of whippets, fun stuff. They lie. Tell me about weed. What else is a lie, I wonder? Are you a lie? Am I a lie? Am I a lie? I don't know. It's like a PCP trip, but only 5 seconds. So you get like a 5-second trip? That just sucks. 5 seconds? No Ignar's twink. Nah. You know, what do you believe? Do you believe in free will? I at least believe there's an illusion to free will, but free will in itself, I mean, it's like a yes and no. That's why I believe there's at least an illusion of free will. Because, like, I've read somewhere that time slows down, though it's short, but doesn't feel that short. Oh, okay, so. See, like I believe there's at least free will because we can at least think for ourselves, and we're able to make our own decisions, you know? But at the same time, I think I've read somewhere that our brain will, like, make this decision for us already, like either, like, 6 milliseconds in, and then you think about it afterwards. So, I think there's at least, like, a little bit of a mix. Like, I think, like, in some ways we don't have free will, like, with survivability, like, we need to eat and stuff like that, or shitting or fucking. I think that's probably not so much as free will compared to, like, our own personal thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. But that's why I say there's at least an illusion, because I think there's probably, like, a little bit of both. I think in, like, a lot of ways we do, but in a lot of ways we don't. So that's why I think there's at least an illusion to free will. So I don't know if that answers the question at all, but, I mean, at least you kind of get a sense of what I believe now, at least, I guess. And I'm not a twink, sir. What are my thoughts on Sam Harris? I don't know. I have to, like, I haven't honestly listened to him or seen anything that he's said in the last long time. So I'll have to check him out and see what he's been saying recently, because I don't know. I know he had a talk with Jordan Peterson, so maybe I'll see that. Maybe I'll do an Ignarism and have, like, a little bit of a combo, like, do, like, Jordan Peterson again and Sam Harris, and then, like, transition with that. But I don't know. I have to figure it out. Maybe that'll be something I'll do as a batch of video. Hi, pup. Hello. Thoughts on thoughts? Thoughts are thoughty. I like 42 thoughts, please. I keep forgetting that this is, like, snapped here, so I don't want to, like, fucking, like, try to suck it like I normally do, because it's gonna cut my lips and shit. Well, will it? Yeah, probably. Funny pup. I could burn your ass, bro. I'll burn your ass. Look at that. Look at those flames. Conservatism is the new punk rock. What? 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 What?
Well, it's interesting. We also mess with other people's elections. Are we being hypocritical? I think it's worse that they're messing with ours. Oregon's sanctuary status is up for
Oh,
in November.
that was a little harsh.
Would repeal the law as it stands, and 95% of the signatures are verified. We're going to have more on that. And by the way, when we
I'm gonna get a drink. God damn.
aliens, Oregonians said loudly, no way, no how.
Ah, that was terrible. Let's sit over here now. God damn, dude. Oh, that was terrible. South Africa's power grid is about to die. I wonder why that is. I have a feeling that some of it's probably climate change, but I could be wrong, but I don't know, because it's a debate here in this country. Probably other reasons too, but I'm sure it's so hot down there that it's starting to fry out its grid. President blamed it on apartheid. That could probably be it too, because there's also like religious, not religious, but race issues going on there too. Like, it's gonna be water wars. There already kind of are, a little bit. I mean, in South Africa, there's already gangs like stockpiling water to sell at like heightened prices to sell to people because they can't get water anywhere else besides like certain amounts to people. So they go to like other places to go get more water, like these gangs and shit, because they're out everywhere else. And yeah, man, they end up just gaining more power and shit. So now there's like, so now I think we're probably gonna have water wars happening in larger scales, but it's already starting. I don't think apartheid is responsible for the outdated power grid that the government refuses to work on. It's that too. I think it's just incompetence in the South African government too. Like, I think there's that. I don't know much about politics in South Africa, but it sounds like they're really fucking incompetent. It sounds like they just refuse to do anything to try to help out shit. Only 1 out of 5 murders get solved there. Well, I know where to commit murders. South Africa and Middle East have water issues brewing. Either that's a nice choice of words or what, but I don't know if it's brewing. I think it already brewed. It's now just, it's getting to it's starting to simmer. It's not boiling, but simmering. Who cares what happens in a place not named America? Yeah, even Puerto Rico, even though it has an America stamp on it, even that we don't give a fuck about, so I don't even know if that's true. I think it's America supporting America. Puerto Rico ain't America enough. I think you have to be a certain American to actually get to that level, so I don't know. But anyway, 7%. Oh shit! I should probably let my phone charge here. Well, the ANC, which is the ruling party there, is the party of Nelson Mandela, runs on a platform blaming any and all problems in the country of white people, racism, and the Afrikaners. Where did that go wrong, dude? Nelson Mandela was actually pretty decent for the country, at least as far as I know. But what happened now, dude? What happened to South Africa, man? It's always had problems. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, well, South Africa, get your shit together, man. Like, now at this point, the international community, like, needs to fucking come in there and help you out. Because now you got problems of water and shit. And, you know, humanity needs to come in there and help, like, humanity out and go down there and help out your problems. At this point, I think, like, we need to try to, like, I don't know if they can be able to resolve the problems on their own, because they're at least incompetent enough to not. So, we should probably be going, not we as in the U.S., I say we as just humanity as a whole, should come in there and be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, hey, like, we're gonna have a court We're going to have some court dates. We're going to set this up, and we're going to work this out like fucking adults. And we're going to have it set not here. So, you know, we're setting this up. Don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Shut up. We're having a court to settle these bullshits, and we're going to make sure that we can get this in the most comparable way possible for everybody, so it benefits everyone's best way possible. The old nigga died. Well, I know Mandela's dead now. If you want to stay safe in South Africa, you need to live in a gated community. Basically, that sounds like what it is. And it sounds like, I know at least whites are the minority in the country, but that doesn't mean, and I know they had rule over the majority of the black people there for the longest time, but that doesn't give the right to say that the white people there now are the problem. Some of them I sure are, but the majority of the minority there, I doubt it. I mean, you're just using a minority of an already minority to oppress the minority. So it's just, I mean, it's what we do here with the minorities here. It's just that it's pretty much what most countries do to the minorities of their country. Like this is what happens, and it's just South Africa's version of it. Haven't you noticed wherever a major leader dies, group he was leading is never the same? Yeah, honestly, that's what, like, when it comes to like parties and stuff like that, I mean, it's okay for them to involve in shit. You know, it's alright for parties to involve and change ideas from time to time. That, you know, as long as it doesn't do a drastic change to where it's not literally the same party anymore. If I were a white South African, I would move my entire family to the West. Let South Africa die. It's a failed society. Well, Somalia is a failed society, and I see America as a failing society right now. And I mean, in the West, there's already having struggles of, you know, with societies clashing because one won't integrate with the other. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, in a lot of ways, society is stable, and there's a lot of places that it is, but that, I mean, like I said, I have like an optimal worldview, and I have a more realistic worldview, and the realistic doesn't look good. I think there probably would be a societal collapse where another one entirely would be built up upon it. But my optimal one would just have society unite as one society, as the human, like society of humanity, and, you know, we progress together. But obviously that won't happen. Australia offered to let white South Africans, such as farmers. Well, I mean, there you go. Australia seems to be alright. We're fucked. Yeah, I mean, even Australia is going to get fucked with water and stuff, so it's only a matter of time before the problems that the South Africans go in there hits them again. Humanity. The humanities. Yeah, we're the humanities. We're not the humans or humanity. We're the humanities. That's right. Yep. In the world's leader of the humanities is Brett King, the original manatee. He's not human, but he's a manatee, but we have adopted him as our world leader. And if and when the whites leave South Africa, then the power grid and water grid is history. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's probably a sad but true case. I mean, unless a lot of the more modern integrated black communities there can, you know, adapt to what was left for them and be able to build up what they already had, then yeah, there's not going to be any hope for it. It'll just be like the rest of Africa. They come up to kayaks looking for food. Oh, that's cool. Well, wait, aren't they endangered? So technically, at least by Florida law, you can't touch them. So I guess you don't live in Florida, so I guess you could, but oh yes, a 24-hour Ignar stream. Not yet. Soon, maybe, but not yet. A 24-hour stream will probably be done on my computer for like a big shebang, you know, celebrating that, hey, this is a thing. But that would have to be like, that would be like scheduled, and that would be prepped majorly, dude. Because I haven't done a 24-hour stream before, so I would have to like get together with my friends, set it up for a weekend, like get my days off at work for that, because there's no way I can do a 24-hour stream with them in the middle of it. So, you know, like that would have to be some shit set up majorly. So, someday, probably in the next couple months, but I don't know exactly when. But you know, if we ever get around to getting that idea popping up, because at least because the main show's already getting started or something like that, then don't worry, it's already been thought as an idea. It's just that can't implement it yet with how it is right now, just how it is right now. But don't worry, I'll be able to get ready to do at least some streams pretty soon. But it won't be for probably, I don't know, at least one more month. I would say 1 more month until official showtime. But speaking of showtime, though, since my phone is slowly dying here, and I am going to do some pre-recorded shows and stuff like that, I'll probably wrap it up here soon so I can go do that, pull some research, and talk about it and everything like that. It's not going to be too much. Like I said, I'm going to do like 2 snap videos, like less than 30 minutes or something like that, and then probably do like an Ignarism after that, or maybe do something a little different, like do something about cinema, or do something about like history or something like that. Try to do the other ideas that I've been thinking about. But my throat has calmed down from its spastic harsh hit, so hopefully this won't kill me. Do a Binkoff review. I'll probably do that for Delve into history books, because that's been. I'm gonna probably do that to pull some research. Like I'll say, hey, here's some alternate history, so let's talk about it. And then, like, and then, like, I think that's how I'll do it. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I'll record a video where I'll do like alternate history on like a history on the Cold War or something like that. And then I'll probably put a Binkoff video or 2 in there. Where's the old dude? Did he go back in his room? Yeah, he's resting in his room right now because it's, like I said, unbearably fucking hot. And unless you're like a young guy like me who can at least struggle and muddle through it, then you're not going to want to be a part of it at all. So I don't blame him, honestly. I mean, I was in my room, like, what woke me up was my dad coming in my room and saying, hey, you got a box. And I'm like, oh, sweet, my helmet came in. And I woke up and I'm like, alright, I'm opening this fucking thing. Shapiro alert. There's nothing to Shapiro alert over yet. What is this nonsense? What is this nonsense? It's because that Shapiro made a random appearance on the Sargon video. Because he did, actually. I didn't even expect Ben Shapiro to be in the video, and I'm like, oh, fuck, here's Ben Shapiro. Well, Shapiro alert! The young guys probably think he's a narc, talking about weed so much. Not here. At least my friends obviously know he's not a narc, of course. But, I don't know, I mean, here, not anymore. Because it's legal, there's not that stigma, because you see people old, young, middle-aged, all in between, even elderly senior levels, 80-some people, age people going into, dispensaries and stuff like that. So, I mean, at this point, when it's legalized, that stigma will die off, for sure. At that point, if Joe, if some kids saw you walk into the dispensary, any idea that you were a narc will be gone. Which is why I think I think it's the biggest thing I've talked about so far is just my view of how, and my predictions with marijuana. So, I mean, at this point, I think everyone understands what I say about that, so I don't know if I should be repeating myself now, and I don't think I will. I don't think I'll repeat myself for the sake of sparing time. Because I say it so much. So much. Get out, bitch! Part of the reason why it was so harsh is because the bull didn't want to fucking leave. Last time, that's probably. The all-knowing eye knows. And it knew it was going to be a harsh one that time. It stuck. And when it's stuck, it's going to get harsh. You should get the old dude a walker to push around with a mount of a bong so he can hit it while wandering aimlessly around the house. Nah. I mean, when he had his bad back and the lumbar stenosis, because he had a surgery to fix that, or at least resolve it for the most part, so he had his legs paralyzed for a little bit, so he had to have one for a while, so he still has it, but doesn't use it anymore. But that's an interesting idea, because I know he used a little wooden block to put on there, makeshift, so he could transport his shit without having to struggle and clutter with it. He would just have it on there and just carefully roll it with his grinder and the bong and all in there, and then eventually he just left it all in here. But over time he eventually got his leg strength back after rehab and the surgery and stuff. So He doesn't need it anymore, but still has it. And also, I mean, my mom has one too, because her fucking back is just a fucking horror story of something else. Like, because she used to have uterine cancer, so you can imagine what radiation does to a specific area of your body. So her lower back is just completely fucked, dude. So for her, she just can't barely walk just because of that on her own. So she has to like wheelchair it or fucking use a walker. But I mean, she's supposed to get a surgery soon, but insurance wants to be fucking slow about it because it's fucking insurance. They'd rather get money out of you instead of having to pay for, to care for your own damn health. Which is why we need universal health care. So uterine, yeah, uterus. Where the fucking baby chills out when the mom was pregnant and everything. Yeah, like, she had uterine cancer, and it was super slow growing. She had it for, like, 2 years before the doctors found out. And it was still at stage 1. I think, at best, early stage 2. So, she was lucky that it was slow growing, and it wasn't a big problem. Probably fucks up the intestines, bladder, and kidneys. Oh, I bet, dude. I mean, if her back is already fucked up, imagine those part of her body, man. Like, she already has fucking issues going to the bathroom now because of this, too. So, I can just only imagine what that does, too, man. Fuck. Oh, now that you brought that up, now that I just realized, that probably just totally, fucks up the kidneys and how it processes, for urinal waste and stuff, and the intestines, like, and shit. Oh. Man, no wonder she has so many problems. Because of fucking radiation, dude. Fuck. I wish I had big tits. What's stopping you from getting implants? What's stopping you? It's America, ain't it? Oh, wait, that's super expensive. You couldn't do it. That's right. Aww. Aww. I'm poor and a man. Just because you're a man doesn't stop you being poor actually does. So, I think even with universal healthcare, that would still be, like, the kill factor. I wish I could give Ignar big tits. Nah. I think just having a fun imagination about it would be okay, but if I grew up a woman, I think I'd just never leave my room ever. I think I'd just be like one of them fucking cam girls or some shit. Honestly, dude. Like, if I was a chick, I probably just wouldn't. I'd just have too much fun with myself. Well, at least just thinking about me as a dude, thinking about being a woman. But I don't know. I think in reality, I'd probably be similar, but probably not literally the same thing as me now. Because obviously, I'd be female. I'll have different interests in different things. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably still think of the 45,000 people die every year. How's that for weight lines? Ignar equal to male Rabbi Jenkins. I've heard that name, but I still don't know who that is. Like, I think I've seen TJ and Paul fucking, like, time out people for that, mentioning that person. But at the same time, I've seen at Drunken Peasants they mentioned that person before. So, it's a meme that I have not caught on onto yet, or something like that. It's something that I haven't caught on about. Who is this rabbi, or Rebi? How do you say it? Is it Rabbi, Ribby? I think, Ribby? I think it's Ribby. Ribby Jenkins. Yeah, I think it's Ribby. Was so fucking boring and annoying, you could tell only Ben wanted her to drag in mouth breathers for more views. Honestly, what Ben is doing now with Drunken Peasants is just doing whatever he can to make a living for himself. So, honestly, it's just like, I mean, this podcast of him sleeping, just him sleeping. Like, why, dude? Why? Why? Ben wanted to bang Ribby. I mean, doesn't he want to bang like a lot of chicks? It was obvious. Ben's favorite type of guests are vapid Twitch girls with nothing to say. I've noticed that, dude. I've noticed. It's usually a lot of people who don't have much to say. You'll bring on really interesting people, and that's usually the Drunken Peasant episodes I watch are the ones that have interesting folks on there. Or Pimp Monk, you know. There's a few guests that, you know, I come back just to watch, just to kind of listen to what they say for the most part, but that's about it. Ben wants to pander to the Keemstar crowd. I can see it. I can see that a little bit. Fuck. Gord, damn it. Is this torch? Is this torch Gucci? Seems like it. Literally half of his guests are girls who stream on Twitch with no familiarity to the show, so you can put their tits and face on the thumbnail. Rip DP. Or just like people who I don't even really like pay attention to much on DP anymore, so it's just like I don't know. Like the only time I'm ever looking at DP is usually highlights and old things of their old DP segments. Like I just discovered they had Howard Bloom on DP once. Bitch, I never knew about this. I mean, this is how much of like I came in and not like around the time they broke up, but shortly before they broke up. So, I mean, I was a fan of TJ for a long time. So, for at least like 2 or 3 years before that. So, I mean, I knew of TJ, but for some reason, at the time, podcasting was never interesting to me, so I never listened to Drunk Peasants. It wasn't my thing. But over time, that eventually, obviously, has become my thing, like, because now I want to do one, and I'm, you know, in the works of doing so. So, I mean, obviously, my thoughts have changed on that, and when I kind of came in there, about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months after that, they broke up. It was kind of around the time the 2016 elections were happening, and, or at least, like, shortly after it. It was, like, after it happened, I think. And it was around that time I started getting into them, and then when they broke up, it was like, oh, shit, well, this sucks. What's DJ gonna do? I'll just see what he's gonna do then. And then I found out that him, Paul, Scotty are doing a thing. I'm like, fuck yeah, okay, so it's just them, basically, besides Ben. Alright, well, let's check it out, let's see what they got. And then, it took about maybe the 3rd or 4th episode of Deep Fat Fried before I got totally hooked on it. But I liked what they were doing for the entire time, man. Now Deep Fat Fried is like my utmost favorite thing. Like, I'm a $10 patron, I fucking followed, many of the memes that come along. I watch Ideology whenever they are live. I saw TJ was live for a while, but he was like he was in a hiatus in the stream, and I was like, what the fuck? I showed up and nothing's happening. What's going on? Like I showed up and then like it just like I showed up right when it happened because everybody was spamming F. And I was like, damn, I just showed up and he just, like, either ended or cut off and he just never came back on. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Weren't we supposed to get an episode of a pre-recorded DFF yesterday? I don't think it's yesterday. I think it was, I think it's going to be, I think we're supposed to get an episode Wednesday and then Friday, and I think the pre-recorded episodes are next week, if I remember right. Let's see what the... Yeah, because I don't think, it's not the 21st. I thought it was the 21st is when they're doing the live show, but it's not. It's next week, so I think it's going to be next Friday or next Monday or something like that. But we're gonna have pre-recorded shows, and I think they're going to probably have the live episode that they do at the meetup on DVD or maybe as a patron episode, so... Either way, I'll probably eventually get to see it at some point, because if it's a DVD, I'm buying the fucking DVD. I'm buying it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And then if it's on Patreon, then it's already there for me to look at. I mean, I'm already a patron, so I'm on the chef's table, man. I'm in the chef's table. It's only $10 a month. That's not a big deal. I mean, I make far more money than that. I mean, and that's and I support their show, and I want their show to continue on because I'm inspired to do my own show based off a lot of what they've done. I mean, not a lot on what they've done. I want to do my own flair, of course, but I mean, a lot of my inspiration has kind of come from them a little bit, especially if with how big they've been kind of getting. But they've already kind of had that fan base too. But I'm part of that fan base, so I mean, I can gather a fair share of audience once I get hooked up on Discord and start getting on DFF Discord to hang out with everybody and everything. If I was them, I'd pre-record a bunch of shows just in case another disaster happens, so they can shove out content no matter what. That's a good idea. Like, they can do, like, while they pull research for the main show, they can, like, do side research on a thing that's related to what they were talking about, but still its own thing, you know what I mean? Like, if they did a DFF on the Cold War, for example, they can do an episode on a country that was in the Warsaw Pact or, in the Western NATO forces, or do one on Germany, like on East and West Germany, the differences and like what was going on for politics-wise and the history, like a lot of the main, rundowns of what was going on between the Germanys. Like, you could do a pre-recorded show of that, do a live stream of the whole Cold War, and then, something like that, you know what I mean? Like, or with the Black Death, they could have talked about, like, some of the kingdoms or, like, some of the wars that was going on there, do a pre-record of that. Like, that's a good idea. I mean, they'll probably overwork them a lot, but since they were already doing some pre-recorded shows, I think that's a good idea, because, I mean, that's what I do. That's what I'm doing right now. What I'm going to do right after this is do 2 pre-recorded shows really quick, and then probably do research for one show for Delve in History books or another. I don't know what I'm going to do entirely yet. I'm going to pick an idea, and then get that recorded for tomorrow. You're as obsessed with East Germany as I am with Soviet Russia. Well, then we could be Soviet partners. Soviet communist partners. But I think it's not more of an obsession, but more of a fascination. Like, I mean, what? Like, seriously. For example, this fucking helmet. I mean, what country had a helmet looking like this, dude? Like, this is like, I mean, no, like, like, the closest thing to this would be, like, the actual German Stahlhelm helmets that in World War II, because essentially they were made like this first, and then they just kind of, narrowed it down so it had the curve and was more rounded on the top. I mean, that's essentially what these helmets were at that time. So, I mean, that's probably the closest thing I could say that they look like, but they look also like a mixture of the Soviet helmets as well, which I think is probably what it was, because these helmets were actually prototypes in World War II for the German army, and then for the East Germans, so they didn't look totally like the West Germans, at least for helmets, so they didn't get confused on friendly fire. They just got inspiration off the prototype helmets that they were using, which basically looked exactly like this, and that's what they used. So, I heard the East German helmets were repainted Nazi helmets. They were. A lot of especially for the, 50s, when the East Germany was established, their army had a lot of Nazi equipment that was just painted over or rebranded to be communist, of course, and be its own thing. But you can definitely tell that, especially with the older equipment, and I mean, even with the uniforms, if you look at the officers student I've worn before, that is a very Prussian German style uniform, which the World War II, the Germans were using that as a base, and then and throughout the Prussian army as well. Like with the East German army, they held a lot of Prussian traditions that you can actually see if you look into it, which is really cool. Which is why I think a DFF or just a Delve in History books episode on Germany, including like East Germany as well, would be very interesting, because you can see comparisons, differences, and like clashes between the two and everything. Repainted style helms. Yeah, I mean, this one is just a standard one. I mean, just the only thing about it is that there's little dings and little scratches and nicks on it, but that's fine. And also the foam is gone. Like, the foam is just practically gone at this point, so I'm gonna have to get my own foam and just shove it in there so I have at least some more comfort. But I could probably find some. Like, my mom has old cases with like foam in it that I can probably find for her old studio equipment when she did photography, so I could probably just use that and stuff it in there and call it good. I mean, that's the best thing I could probably do, because how am I going to find specific foam liner for a helmet like this? Like, it was hard enough to find one cheap like this. I have some foam for you, winky face. Ooh. Well. Well. Ooh. Mmm. Oh, yeah. But I also found a camo net and also an actual net that on eBay as well that's like super cheap too. So I'm probably gonna get like the netting. So whenever like I go camping or I'm like going airsoft and some shit, I could put like pine trees and shit like that in there so it looks more authentic. Because I see in like whenever you see military exercises of these Germans, a lot of their helmets have that netting. And would you shut the fuck up, Carl? God damn it. It's just, what? Because I've admitted that I'm... Fuck you, whatever. Go fuck yourself. Getting all puppy with me. I'll put you in your puppy place, bitch. That's right, bitch. I'm calling you out. Fuddy pup. You're the fuddy pup, bitch. That's what you are, sir. I can end it right here. Oh boy, now you did it. Yeah, damn straight you did, sir. I'll buy Ignar a puppy gimp mask if he'll wear it on stream. Well, he didn't say how long, so I'll do it. I already agreed to it. You can't change the contract. Ben's over showing that pupper ass. Anyway, but at least I remember what I was talking about. So, I mean, like, they would, like, stick pine needles and shit and, like, the netting and stuff like that. Not all of them, but a good portion of them did. Do you follow AD accounts of pups on Twitter? Yes. Well, I just follow some AD accounts anyway, and that just happens to be in there too. So, yes. I'll just say yes. You can look into it. Like, if you look at who I'm following, you can see. So, it's like, why would I deny it when it's there? There's no point. So, anyway, I'm going to get started on some pre-recorded shows and get into that. Also, I'm a little hungry. I'm going to get some food. So, I'll probably do another stream tonight after I do all of that. Let you know how it all went. But, in the meantime, stay tuned. No, don't leave. Well, too bad, sir. I got more content to produce. So, it'll all be good, though. I think you'll enjoy what I got in store, though. So, anyway, my friends, I'll be going out in the field. I'll be going out in the field and bullshitting YouTube. So, my friends, I'm off. I am off to a new battlefield. And I'll see you guys later, my friends. Bye, pup. Alright, bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. You did not represent your papers, by the way. We need to get you checked out, y'all. But I'll see you all soon. Maybe, maybe not. Ba-la-la. Toodaloo, little peaches. Come on.